Welcome everybody, I'm Burner. As usual, this is The Walking Dead Road to Survival, and as expected, we have an offer to get more anniversary tokens from a random bag. So I'm going to do another installment of Worth the Squeeze. Here you can see anniversary token offer. Don't miss out on chances at a guaranteed epic recruit with our anniversary tokens. Take advantage of this great offer for extra tokens now and redeem your tokens before it's too late. Well, let's see what kind of offer we're getting on these tokens. There you see it, anniversary bag, all nice and wrapped up. They'll let you buy 50 at a price of 245 coins. Don't worry, I'll do the math for you. They will let you spend 12,250 coins to get anniversary tokens. Also, don't worry, I've looked at the coin prices, and that's basically $150. You could buy the 8,250 pack for 100, and then you could buy a 4,000 pack for 50. So if you're willing, they will let you spend $150 to, possibly get another guaranteed epic. Of course, you're limited to 5 options. Most of us only want a select few of those 5. So, whether or not that in itself is worth it for you to spend real world money, I'll leave that choice up to you. But let's take a look and see just exactly what we have in this bag. As usual, you have a random scale of values that you can get. At the low end, you see, in the 200s for the bottom 4, extending up to 5,000 at the top. Now that we have the ranges, let's talk about, what the worth is. So the first thing I'll say is you should probably only be doing this if you're looking to get an additional pull, be it that second, third. I know there's probably some people out there that are on the cusp of getting a 4th pull. I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but as long as this event's going on, if you're free to play and you don't have a 5-star and you haven't done a single pull yet, breaking news, you just aren't playing enough. This game isn't that important to you, and you should not be spending any real world money because you're just not putting in the effort. So this should be something that you're looking at only if you're very close to doing an additional pull and you're okay with the chances of the characters you can get. And when I say close to, we're probably talking within, I mean, if it were me, within 1,000 tokens. Like if I somehow got stuck and I'm within 1,000 tokens short, I'd maybe think about this bag. I'll get into a why in a second, but first I want to kind of compare this bag to the Premier Recruits. So to buy this bag, 245 tokens. To take a shot at Premier Recruits, 250. Of course, most of the time you're doing Premier Recruits, you're just going to end up with a 3-star, but just to give us, a little bit of comparison, it's pretty equivalent. One thing you can do with Premier Recruits, though, is do a larger pull for a discount. You can do a 10 pull for only 2,200. You're not getting any discounts here with the token bag. So no matter how many bags you buy, each one is going to cost you 245. All right. Now let's look at the possibilities. We all know that these lower amounts are going to be the highest probability of coming out of this bag. You have 10 options, but it's not 10% for each one. If you've done any purchases through these promotions, it's not an even percentage per item available. So yeah, at the top you have 5,000, but if you look closely, of the 4 top ones, only 3 of them are over 1,000. So even if you're looking at the middle range, let's say the chances of getting a 3 and a 500 are decent odds. Better than than like 10% odds, which they're probably not. But let's say that they fall a decent amount. If you did a 10 pull and spent 2,450 coins instead of doing, a 10 pull for Premier Recruits, which is probably going to get you 3s, but you can get Supply Depot points, you're probably going to get, if you landed in that range every time, you would only get 3,000 to 5,000 tokens. And that's why I suggested you should probably only spend money on this if you're very close, and I mean within 1,000. I mean, another way to think of it, this just came to me, is supply depot points. If you spend a 250 for a Premier Recruit and you get a 3-star, you can still turn that in for 130 supply depot points. If you spend money on this and, for whatever reason you don't have coins or you don't want to spend the cash to get up to the next level, and you end up with leftover tokens, you're talking about spending 245 coins for possibly just like 20 to 27 supply depot points. Even if you got lucky and hit 1,000 for 245, that's going to get you 100 supply depot points. That is not good value. I wouldn't want to spend more than, it's basically a 10 pull and a 1. I wouldn't want to spend 11 chances at getting a 5-star to only get 3 to 5,000 tokens for one of these 5 available epics through the guaranteed pool. To me, that's not very good value. So you need to be really close to even consider this. And again, talking about the usual, you're probably going to hit these bottom 4, which means per pool you're going to get 200 to 275 tokens. Again, even if you're just 1,000 or within 1,000 tokens, which is really close when you're talking about 40,000, it's going to take you multiple pulls to probably get 1,000. You're probably looking at having to do at least 4 pulls, which means you're going to spend 980 coins just to clear up that 1,000. So if you're outside of 1,000 tokens from another pool, I don't recommend this at all. If you are very close, and I mean very close to getting that additional pull, it might be worth it to you if you have the coins, or if you're a pay-to-play player or a minimum pay player, you only spend when something really works in your favor, then it might be worth it. But for me, like, this is the usual Scopely stuff we see. Pretty pricey for not a lot of payoff. I don't recommend spending a lot of money on this. I joked in the last Worth the Squeeze that we should probably set up some sort of some value, and I joked about lemons, but to me, yeah, lemons to lemonade. Lemons are sour. I'm not a big fan. So we'll do 2 different systems, both on a 4 fruit scale. If it's good, I'll start giving out oranges because, oranges are tasty and I like that juice. And if they're not good, we're going to give out lemons. So for this offer here, I'm going to give this 3 lemons. It's really about as bad as it can get. There's a couple of possibilities, like I said, where you're very close, where this might be helpful, but really only if you're very close. Otherwise, you're going to end up spending a lot, and it's just really not worth it. That being said, I'll leave it up to you guys to make the decision. I'd love to hear how it goes if you do decide, or, hear your thoughts on this promotion. Please comment below. Let me hear it all. As usual, like, dislike if you need to, and if you're new and enjoy the video and like the channel, please subscribe. I appreciate all the time you put in, and I hope you guys got some value out of my thoughts on this one. Anniversary token bag, not really worth the squeeze. I'll see you guys next time. For now, I'm Burner. Flame out.